Hello and welcome back to the Minetrek.net game server. This will be another update on the Enterprise D. In the last video I showed you that we had the neck area all buttoned up and good to go. And I believe we mentioned a little bit about the first couple of decks down here, decks I think 28 and 29. We were doing a little bit of a tour but my voice gave out, so yeah. Anyways, this is March 6th and we've got quite a bit done on the old gal, as you can see. We're punching through the decks. We've got a lot of refinement work done in the last few decks here. And I've been working on the bottom decks. Oh, we also got the deflector in. That took a bit of time to set up and build. I wasted an entire day on the deflector. What can I tell you? You got the computer core in. That took another day to sort the computer core out because we had to resize it, move it, tweak it, adjust it so that we could get it in here and that it would look, halfway decent compared to the way it was in here before. Before it was just so massive. On this one here, we come up here a couple of decks. Up here, we couldn't get it to fit. No matter what I did, there's just absolutely no way to get this computer core to go up on our deck. Well, it just so happens that on this deck, the core itself is smaller. It's about this size. So all this area here didn't need to have a big computer core in it. It needs to have a smaller, more centralized area. So all this right here is just open for however way M wants to design it. What I probably end up doing is I'll probably come back through here and mock off along this edge here so that this bulkhead or hole plating, whatever you want to call it, is not seen when you're inside of this room. Whereas out here, because these are, let's see what these are, large lounge and head areas. Large lounge head, large lounge. Yeah, so this is broken up into a couple of lounges and heads. These will have access to windows. Now I've ran into so many problems with this ship and the way that they designed it. They put windows in places that have absolutely just asinine places to put windows. Because how do you... I can't even begin to explain the frustration involved with looking on the hull and seeing that there's a window looking right into the deuterium tank. Yeah, they have them. And then when we get down to the bottom of the ship, all the windows face up. Up. Now in the old D, they just put rooms there. And I'll have to be honest with you, I think the Whitefire plans are a lot better because they're so basic. They're just like, yeah, these are the Whitefire plans, open to interpretation. So they lend themselves very well to that. This is another problem I'm running into. Right here. That's where the escape pods are. I have escape pods up here. And then if you look at the plans, there's another set of escape pods right here. Problem is, we pop up in here, there's no room. No room. Now I can put the escape pods right on this here because I have the room for it right here. Because this area here is designated as future expansion or whatever it is, but maybe it's the next deck down. But I can put the escape pods here and they would fit into the deck right about there. Okay? And that would put them just ahead of this right here, which is the lower transporter assembly unit. Which, ironically, there is no space in the Sternbach plans, nor the Whitefire plans, for this. We're basing this design off the Sternbach, so that's where I go to, and then I just happen to look at the Whitefire plans because I was thinking about using the Whitefire aft cargo bay design over the Sternbach plans. But yeah, check that out. There's this right here, and we'll get back to that. And I'll show you this here real quick because I'm actually working in this area right now, and I've just put my face palmed it and sent M. Heller an email about the whole issue and saying, yeah, hey, I can't get this to work. I redesigned the deck so we'll have the double row of things here, moved everything over, everything fits. I'm happy. The pod's a little bit too long, so we won't be able to get 8 pods in, but we got 6 in. But this is deck right here. This is deck 39, and the escape pods are supposed to be on deck 40. But if we come over here to where the escape pods go, I've got this. So this has to be here. So that means the escape pods have to go up here on this deck, or up here on this deck. You know, it's just because here are the other escape pods. So my thinking is that the other set of escape pods actually go on this deck down here. Not this deck, because obviously this is the deck, but they go, either they would go right here, or they would go, if I can get down there, right here. So I'm thinking that they're probably going to go right here. This is where I'm going to end up putting the escape pods. So I have to move the escape pods. Ooh, I forgot to put that down in there. We'll get that done right now. Yeah. But I've been going over the plans, trying to figure out what's going on here, and sure enough, you know, I can't get it sorted. So I'm going to have to put the escape pods on a different deck apart from the plans. So, yeah, that's kind of a nerf. That's a nerf. And the fact that the lower transporter assembly unit wasn't even included in the Sternbach plans really threw me for a loop. Because I'm sitting here pulling my hair. Does that even go on this ship or not? So I went and looked at the Whitefire plans, and it doesn't mention it. But I'm pretty sure that, you know, given Whitefire's level of detail, he probably did include it. But then again, both plans also had escape pods up underneath the impulse engines where you can't fit escape pods. So yeah, definitely going to have to relocate the last four or 4 or 6, I don't remember, escape pods. They're definitely going to have to be relocated to the deck above us here. If I can get back up in there, come on, let me in there. There we go. Come on. Definitely have to be relocated to this area here. There's just no two ways about it. It'd either be this deck or the deck above it, depending on where they go in the hull. And then all this right through here, windows. The windows are literally right here on this deck. And let's go ahead and go up. And on this deck, I like this. There are the windows. Huh. And I've got 3 rows of windows. But but given the spacing of how the decks are, ain't gonna be you'll probably end up just with 2. I don't know. It's extremely frustrating, to say the least. But that's the issues we run into. But let me go ahead and show you here, and jump over the hull real quick. Look at that. Oh, I wanted to show you this too. Ian's been working on the Cobra head, putting a lot of the Cobra head details in it. The phaser strip here is going to have to get recontoured. We've already, and I talked about it today. This, I tried for at least 6 days to get this thing to contour down the way that it does on the drawings and stuff into this little area here, and I just couldn't get it to go. There was just absolutely no way for me to do it. So we ended up going with this plan here and just having it all the way across. And that was back when we were fitting the hatches and doing all that other stuff. So it had to be done that way. That's more practical anyways, but I've cut out the back part of the saucer, and I'm in the process of clearing out all of this stuff here in it. Now the reason these are still color coded is for the purpose of reintegration and separation and things like that. The main thing that we're working for right now is, if this is going to be recontoured, then we have to coat the outside of it, then import the coat into here, and we have to have a clean shell to do it with, so that when this marriages to this, there are no gaps. There aren't no gaps or other issues. Now, pulling this out, I've found a few errors and mistakes and stuff, but they're all minor things that can be, you know, explained away because of Minecraft. But you know, just like a couple of extra layers of blocks that are redundant. In one case, real small layer of one thick blocks, about 4 wide, was removed where the phaser strip abuts to the primary hull. No big deals. Those are issues that can be overcome, but you'll never see them. But yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna go check these hangars out here real quick. Yeah, check it out. Multicolored hangar doors. Gives it that ribbed look for their pleasure. There's a blast door, but the hangar's been filled in quite nicely. I think Nothing really much has changed in here, just a lot of minor little details and things like that. Just the roof was a big win. A lot of yellow. I wish we had a smaller caution block, but we don't have one. Everything looks okay over here, and then we have, still don't understand the purpose of this other than I guess it's the maintenance area or emergency ready go shuttle. I don't know. Picard's pressing a shuttle. And then down in here, of course, mainly just this hasn't changed at all. But yeah, let's go ahead and go out of here. We've seen all this, so we're pretty much good to go with it. The EVA locker is back here. Here it is. Every hangar must have an EVA locker. This is no exception. I just have to figure out how to piston set up the doors, which I don't think I'm going to do. A lot of extra work. We've got a big lounge back down there. I think that was the last deck we toured, was that deck. I forget the number now. But we've been busy down here on the lower decks from deck 30 on down. And I was hoping to get the last of the ship deck plans laid out tonight, but then I ran into that damn hatch issue, and it's literally blown 4 hours going back and forth and doing reference things and trying to come up with ways to work around it. And finally I just decided, you know what, I'm just going to shoot a video, record a video. Maybe that'll help me think. I don't know. We'll figure it out on the flip side. But all these back here, these are spine cargo hatches. And this area of the ship, this hatch here, either swings out of the way or lowers down into the ship. And then these here are exposed to space so that it can be loaded and unloaded. So we went ahead and added in a couple of force-filled rings, which will probably be reworked later on. And then the same thing up here, another one up here, and then finally there's this one up here. And these, we also added in EVA lockers for the area. And then down here, it doesn't really need an EVA locker, but it's good to have one anyways, because if those are locked off or you can't use them, or all the suits are gone, you still have this one down here, and you just jump in the lift, come get it, jump in the lift, go back up and off into the locker, off into the cargo bay you can go. Anyways, I worked on the aft torpedo launcher, got it in here, all lined up and not functioning unfortunately, but yeah, what can I tell you? I'm going to put the cooling system for the aft torpedo launcher behind this wall here. This whole room here will be dedicated to the aft torpedo launcher. And then back here is the gas system for it, or whatever you would want to call it, the propellant. And then this is the magazine. It's got a pretty nice area. And then there's another smaller magazine down here. These will be for like probes and additional torpedoes and stuff, or torpedo maintenance. Then we have this section down through here, which is deck 36, which is the main engineering deck. And not really sure what happened here. Probably got lowered when I was doing the lowering section of it. It's no big deal. I mean, it works out well. Looks good. I like gray. Just go ahead and fill it in there. This back section of the ship took quite a long time to work on. I did this yesterday on the 5th of March, and it was an all-day project. All of this area back through here, because it's, yeah, what can I tell you? A lot of stuff has to happen back here, and as you can see by the signs, quite a bit of stuff has to happen back here. But there were also other things that needed to be linked or established, and this was the only place to do it, i.e. the crossover turbo lift that goes back and around to the nacelle. There's absolutely nothing regarding a turbo lift going to a nacelle, but now we have one. And then all the space back through here, which is out into the pylon strut, is in the plans is just nothing but ribbing. But as you can see, it's massive. I mean, it's 4 blocks tall, 5 blocks tall, actually 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks tall. That's actually the hull, so it's only 5 blocks tall if you put cotton there. But it will have ribbing. Obviously, it'll have ribbing right like that along the top, and then underneath here it's just the floor and then the hull again. So no ribbing below us, but it'll have ribbing above us. Some ribbing's better than no ribbing, I guess. But I went ahead and put the turbo lift in to the saucer proper. Of course, it doesn't have its roof yet through here. I just haven't gotten around to it. And I tried to do it in a way that mimicked what we're doing right now, which is the leapfrogging sort of stuff, but you can't get away from it. You know, if I'd done it like every other one, we would by going up a stair. But as you can see, it just kind of works its way around. And now we're heading for the forward part of the nacelle. At least trying to get to the forward part of the nacelle. It's a big nacelle. You know you got a big ship when you need a turbo lift to get to the top of it. To the top of its engine. And because of the way that this is designed, we'll see it here. I didn't put a roof on it yet because I'm still working on it. I could not put this turbo lift inside of this structure any way, shape, or form, or connected to the one that's actually in the structure, unless I wanted to redesign the entire structure. Completely redesign it. As you can see, there was just no way to do it. Could not put it down through here, couldn't do anything. I tried. I mean, I even tried putting it through the firewall here, but get up through here real quick. Then we got this thing in the way. And you can see there's the turbo lift right there. Actually, I better go ahead while I'm thinking about it and patch this up. I thought about going sideways, but then we have this, which is the airlock for this area here. So there's really nothing I could do. The only place I could theoretically do it was along the outside, and that's what I did. I just went ahead and put it on the outside. And I'll put windows, and this will all get dolled up here, but again, it's, you know, what can I tell you? Just comes along here and then drops down 1, 2, is it 3? So I didn't realize this had 3 levels to it. So, and then I also put in a little stairwell. And by little I mean tiny. There you are. And I think, I'm not certain, but I think there's actually another room back there, but I don't know anything about the nacelle. All I know is that the nacelle has to be reworked because there's something about the number of coils is off. I don't know what that means, but it's, you know, something M will have to deal with, probably with blue phobes, figure that out. Come down through here, and then I added this catwalk and stairwell. So, in case the turbo lifts are down, you still have to get out of here. And I'm not going to put a Jeffries tube in there because I could, but it'd just be redundant at this point. If I did, it'd have to, because this one goes this way, then this one over here would have to be the Jeffries tube, you know? Then how would I route the Jeffries tube to that structure back there? I couldn't figure it out, so I figured screw it. Now there's more. There's actually an airlock in the nacelle. I don't know if we're going to put any, like we did with the Enterprise E, any work bees or not in it, but I can tell you that I said 3 times. I'm just seeing how many times I can say it in one sentence. I don't know if we're going to put any work bees in here or not. I am not familiar with the nacelle of the Enterprise D. All I know is that it just had, one time, had a big Duracell in it. But you can see the stairwell going down. Again, I tried to minimize the zigzagging, but that's the best I can do. It zigzags. There's nothing else I can do about it. But there is an airlock, and I think it should be back in here somewhere. We'll go outside and see if we can find it. But yeah, there is an airlock here. There it is, airlock. This is where the airlock goes. Actually, let's go ahead and do that, and then I'll cover this back up. So we have to have an airlock in here. So that was why I ended up putting up the stairwell and stuff. Now, what'll happen is the stairwell, as it comes through here, will just probably right here. I should be able to. I don't think I'll be able to. I don't know yet. I'll have to figure it out. I'll come back here. It'll come off of here like this, and then it'll just come around that way down into the stairwell, or into the airlock, and then the airlock will be much like it is on the Enterprise E. So again, I don't know if we'll be able to put any work bees in here or not. I don't think we have the real estate for it, given the size of these coils. But if we could fit them in, it'd be kind of cool. Let's go ahead and take these stairwell down here. Could you imagine if this was your only means to getting to work every day? Oh my God, find a new job. This is ridiculous. Okay, you have a 10-minute break, but you have to go all the way down this pylon, down the stairs here, to the first break room, which is, you know, a couple of decks above you. Ah, crap, break's over. Go back. And we're back. Went ahead and figured out what we're going to do with this area over back in through here with these escape pods. decided to go ahead and put the pods down on the deck that requires them to be on, which I did do. Which I think it's deck whatever deck this is, deck 40, 41, or 42. It's deck 40. Anyways, did get them down on here. What I ended up doing is I moved the transporter thingy down and slid it in right through here. That means we're losing a corridor through here, and this area had to be reworked. But yeah, we've got them in where they need to go now. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that, but it did require some reworking of this deck here, and I'll show you through here real quick what's going on here. And then I also added in a gangway to get down into the lower deck here and set up for all the warp core stuff that's currently being worked on. And there's this hatch right here where the pods could be refueled or jettisoned. And there's also a hatch right here that allows you to load the pods from the forward bay. And more on that to follow. That forward bay turned out to be quite a problem. And I don't know if I'll include it in the next video or at the end of this video, depending on how long this video is running, this episode is running. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Got a bunch of emergency lockers. The doors for these might be a little off place because of the fact that I don't know where the columns go yet. But this right here is all escape pods and all the yummy stuff for escape pods. So yeah, looks like M's been busy down here labeling stuff. So okie dokie. See you in the next segment. I hope. Today is March 13th, and we have got quite a lot done. The drive section is coming together rather rapidly, and I can tell you from first-hand experience that yeah, we ran into some problems. Not too many problems, but a few. One of the problems we ran into, of course, was this cargo bay system down here. In the last video, I believe it was, we were talking about what we were going to do. Well, we decided to go ahead and reshape the clamshell. M says it was too small, so we spent some time, in literally 8 hours, reshaping the clamshell. And decided to forego the stern block design for the cargo bay and incorporate a little bit of the Whitefire plans as well as a lot of our own into the area. As you can see, we have this big open cargo bay area now, which is kind of, in my opinion, one of the huge wastes of space on this entire ship. Because you got this big space here that could be used for something, and unfortunately the cargo shell, when it's open, this whole area becomes a cargo bay. I tell you, if I were to design something, I'd have smaller cargo bay doors, but yeah, they're pretty big on the ship, so they have to be big here. I don't know what kind of cargo they'd be moving in here, but yeah, you know what? It is what it is. But with the design, we have the lower parking or lower load bay here, which feeds into basically nowhere. Just a corridor that goes along here to the antimatter pods and the lifeboats. Phaser strip here, and then this, of course, back through here will all be support ribbing, maybe a little access crawlway space through here to get under to the deflector dish. That'd be about the extent of that. And then, yeah, I don't know, it might come down into here and do something like that. Who knows? Then we get up here into the upper bay, and you can see it's parsed off in two sections here. We have this section here, which is a crossover to that side. So basically, it'll just be for this right here. This is the, well, I should say deuterium tank. It's more or less cryo fluids and tanks like that that can be offloaded through here and the storage areas through here and stuff. This is just an elevator for those. Then we have, of course, have a turbolift, and then we have the main sort of area itself, and then we have a little load hatch here for the antimatter, and then of course there's a hatch on the bottom of the ship that can drop the antimatter out if they have to, the antimatter pods. Then we have cargo bays up in here which can be loaded, or I should say loaded stuff can be placed inside of them. Then we have reworked the deck, got rid of a lot of the stuff that was down through here and made some more cargo space, as well as this big pathway here, and cargo loading elevator, or elevator turbolift into here. And there's a door one, and here's the big door, and then the aft cargo complex itself, which isn't really all that big. Again, most of the cargo stuff is handled up in here in the spine. As you can see, we've been doing quite a bit of work in here. We're trying to get some of the decks buttoned up so we can start mirroring stuff off, but it's been a slow process, very slow process, a lot slower than I thought. Actually, laying out the decks has gone by pretty quick. It's actually fitting and finishing the decks that's been taking a lot of time, and I've been dragging my feet, and M has well. Some real life stuff, you know, gets in our way and everything else. See, there's M telling me deck 37 Final pass is complete. And I will say, big smiley face. But back here we have the F-Photon Torpedo Launcher. I put this in, and all the cooling for the F-Photon Torpedo Launcher will be handled. I mentioned this in the last video. Probably not. It's been a while. I haven't actually watched the last video, so in fact I probably at this point still haven't even gotten to editing any of the video yet. But yeah, it all goes in here like so. Anyways, thanks for watching. Again, this is the Minetrek.net game server. If you hit the like button for me, I greatly appreciate it. If you'd like us on Facebook, please do so. If you'd like to donate to the server, there's a link in the description below. Thanks again, and have a great day.